Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Annie Gaming. This is episode 9. Justin here, and today we are back in the world of Shonen Jump. And today we are going to be discussing the PS3 game J Star Victory Versus Plus. And this is back in the world of the big anime crossover video games. And let's talk about it. This was released for the PlayStation 3, developed by Spike Chunsoft, and was released in 2015. It is a crossover fighting game that features such shonen anime characters from such popular series such as, just to name a few, Dragon Ball, One Piece, Yu Yu Hakusho, Naruto, Bleach, Hunter x Hunter, just to name a few. And it was intended to be this fan service bonanza, tapping into Bandai Namco's expensive library. However, while it offered a substantial roster and some unique features, the game did fall a little bit short in key areas, which we will discuss later on into it. So, first, let's talk a little bit about the character roster. Speaking of characters, J Star's Victory vs. Plus offers over 50 characters from more than 30 different anime series. The game offered a rare chance for fans to see their favorite characters in some unique matches that previously only existed in fan fiction. You had series such as Hunter x Hunter, Yu Yu Hakusho, Rurouni Kenshin, Fist of the North Star, just to name a few of which animes joined the ranks, and it just really was more of a celebration for that weekly Shonen Jump legacy. However, not every beloved character made the cut, which was disappointing to some fans. Spike had to face a lot of limitations, particularly in terms of licensing issues and balancing each character's fighting style with the gameplay mechanics, and this kind of led to a lot of disappointment. But yet, the game did give shine to other characters that you would never really kind of see get their own anime title. While the roster was damn well impressive, let's talk a little bit about the gameplay here. So, the combat in J Star Victory vs. Plus is structured as an arena style fighter where players can fight in two teams or three, either alone or with assist characters. It features unique victory burst moves as signature finishing techniques, which add some depth to each character's attack. These special moves are directly inspired by iconic moments from each series, from Goku's Kamehameha to Luffy's Gum Gum attacks. But while these bursts of familiarity were visually entertaining, the depth of the combat system really did kind of fall short in serious engagements. The game's mechanics are simple, favoring more casual players over technical players. While this made it easy and accessible to newcomers, the combat quickly felt repetitive, lacking the combat depth that you see in such games such as Dragon Ball Fighter Z or the Naruto games, or at least at the time, the Budokai series. As a result, hardcore fighting fans often found this combat too shallow and was not easy for longevity purposes. The simplicity limited the game's potential to draw in a competitive fighting game crowd or those who wanted a more technical experience. While the game might have been disappointing for the hardcore fighting fan, J Star's Victory vs. Plus did feature a story mode which is called J Adventure. This mode takes players through four distinct story arcs centered on different characters and teams. While the mode tried to capture the spirit of Shonen Jump adventures with storyline crossing various worlds, however, it did suffer unfortunately from repetitive mission structures and horrible dialogue. When I tell you the dialogue wasn't good, let me just say this. The dialogue was very generic and it didn't fit the characters. You have characters that say things that you know they want to be saying, reacting the way they probably want to react. So that kind of takes the players out of it. The dialogue lacked the charm and depth one will expect from a crossover narrative, with most missions being simple brawls, escort missions, or collection tasks. Moreover, the story felt limited, making it less engaging for players who wanted to experience what is the reason behind the crossover. There really wasn't that much meat to this, unfortunately. The mode was designed to be an adventure, but it lacked some serious depth and the cohesion of the true storyline, leaving it somewhat disjointed. And unfortunately, with that much characters, yeah, it's kind of hard to juggle everything into a cohesive narrative. If the story mode was a little bit better, then you would have probably had more fun with it, but you needed to play the adventure mode to unlock certain characters. So Story mode was something that you really had to do. It was mandatory, to be honest with you. Now you're probably wondering, okay, gameplay was story mode was disappointing. How does the game look? How does the game present? And I'll have to say this, the gameplay has that nostalgic aesthetic, and the cel shaded models and the stylus art help the characters maintain the essence of the original anime series, which really was appealing to anime fans. However, the visuals at times was a bit inconsistent. While character models were faithful to the manga and anime, some environment textures felt bland and lacked the polish seen in their other respective titles. The game's UI design, the voice acting, and the sound effects were commendable, preserving the energy and personality of each series with the original Japanese voice actors reprising their roles, which helps. The game also stayed true to the anime feel. However, its soundtrack, though energizing, could have benefited from more of the actual themes and compositions from the original animated series. It felt generic at times with this generic rock music that someone could actually probably break now with AI. It wasn't that good of a soundtrack, but there were a little bit of renditions of original anime IPs from the respective shows. But it would have been nice, like I said, I've always been saying this since episode one. Anime games are really great when we get the actual soundtrack from the shows because it just sets the tone. Tone is very important to me and it's important to a lot of people. So I constantly keep saying this, folks. Anime games need their original soundtrack from the shows if possible. Finally, let's talk a little bit about the multiplayer experience. While the multiplayer experience did offer some fun, the potential of multiplayer showdowns, which was also enticing for anime fans looking to battle out with their friends. Local multiplayer provided a good way for fans to connect over a shared love of anime, but the online multiplayer was somewhat flawed due to connective issues at the time and constant lag. I can't tell you, I've really hardly played it online because it was just a bad quality of experience. And compared to such games that we got at the time, such as Ultimate Ninja Storm, this was an issue and this made no sense for something to have this much characters. This should have been the WrestleMania of anime games at this point, and unfortunately, it did drop the ball. So, upon release in conclusion, it did receive mixed reviews. While fans were really happy with the roster, some were disappointed with it. Critics did point out the gameplay balance, the story mode was kind of lackluster, and the visual graphics inconsistencies. The game remains memorable for anime fans. That's why we put it here for anime gaming. And today, J Star Victory versus Plus stands as a notable entry in the history of anime games, remembered more for its roster and concept than its execution. It set the stage for what is to come later for more polished anime games such as Jump Force. Probably won't be doing that one, which improved the graphics, but yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say about that one. Jump Superstars for the DS to me is still the best jump game, period. That's just for me. If you never checked that out, definitely check that one out. Anyway, while it might not hold up to today's fighting game, anime fighting games in terms of gameplay sophistication, its character roster and that nostalgia factor make it, something that you might just want to check out. Anyway, so that is going to conclude Annie Gaming. This is Justin from otakusgeeks.com. What did you think of J Star's Victory versus Plus? Comment below. Let me know. Did you own the game? Did you not? And if you like what we do here, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We will catch you on the next one, my friends. Later day.